Welcome to the Near Memo, a weekly conversation about search, social, and commerce. What happened, why it matters, and the implications for local.
So there is no segue that I can...
Maybe you'll be able to pay just by looking at the terminal.
Yes, there we go. All right. Someday when you can tap your glasses and that will send a payment to the terminal. That's right. So Facebook today, or depending on when you're listening to this, a few days ago, announced their long-awaited collaboration with Ray-Ban, the maker of Ray-Bans, Luxottica, and they've come out with smart glasses that do a bunch of things, capture video. I think there's a limited AR capability. You can listen to music. So it's a kind of an amalgam of features. You know, people are sort of saying this is really just Snap Spectacles 2.0 or something, or they just copied Snap Spectacles. One of the things that they cost, I think, $299. They come in 20 different flavors. You can put prescription lenses in them. They look like normal glasses. One of the significant things is that you can take video or imagery that you capture and upload it to any of the social media platforms. It's not limited to Facebook-owned platforms, which I think is significant. And they're bending over backwards to give users reassurances about privacy. You're in control. You can
users, but how about the people in the user's field of vision?
Well, right. So
how do I, as a pedestrian walking across somebody's path, opt out of Facebook recording my image?
Well, you can't effectively because you're in a public place, right? That gets into a discussion about privacy in public places and expectations of privacy, which is like Fourth Amendment law. But it's a very valid point and an important point. But just real quickly, my reflexive reaction to this was like, oh, this is potentially dead on arrival. This is like, ha 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 ha, another failure. That Facebook has not had success with its smart screen device at home because they're in this sort of perilous position around trust. And so my instinct was to say this is going to have a similar fate, sort of on the heels of the previous versions of this, Google Glass and Snap Spectacles, which didn't really succeed. But I think this is an important product because I think it's the first set of smart glasses that look normal, and I think there are a lot of nice features here. And so I think it's in the evolution of this product. I think it's significant. I don't think that it will be a major success because Facebook is so untrusted and because people are creeped out by the idea of being photographed, wherever they may be. So now,
another
David.
Counterpoint that I read on Twitter today is that in order for this device to, well, I don't know if this is the only way, but it is one way for this device to do stuff is through voice activation. And so somebody's going to have to say, Facebook, take a photo of the menu or something like that. And that is just not going to be cool ever. If you're saying that, you're around friends or whatever, like that's going to be pretty awkward and not maybe that useful. So,
well, I don't know if there's a sort of a tap function that exists. There may be. I mean, I don't know if you remember back when Google Glass was rolled out, there were all these parodies that came out, right? So you knew that the product was dead when the parodies sort of proliferated and made it really awkward to be somebody who was wearing one of these. So if that starts happening, we know that it's dead. But I think it's a significant product. We'll wait and see how successful it is.
So this morning I was doing my regular reading and I read about a smart toilet that measures your health by measuring your fecal output and your urinal output. Obviously takes privacy invasion to a whole new level.
Yes.
This sort of, for me, falls into that same category. Although more public, nonetheless, equally unnecessary. But I could be wrong.
Would you go so far as to say equally shitty, Mike?
Yeah, only assholes need them, right? Both devices. Although I was wondering on this toilet what the digital assistant would be called. I thought of maybe Poopy instead of Siri. Poopy, you think that would work? I don't know.
Poopy.
Hey, Poopy, yeah.
Poopy, flush.
Yeah, right.
Flush again.
And the killer app is daily affirmations, right? You did a good job today, Mike.
Well, so
sorry.
I know. I mean, I think this is Apple's got their glasses coming out. There will obviously be more iterations of this. I mean, I think there's something here that has a future, whether or not this particular product succeeds. And I do think the privacy questions are really vexing, difficult questions. I mean, think about all the location data that Facebook will get. I mean, this is Facebook's smartphone, essentially, right?
They will also get information on how frequently you're uploading to services other than them.
Yeah.
So they'll know who to buy or to copy a feature.
Buy and bury. For our last Near Memo. Yeah.
So you guys are both thumbs down on this product. You think it's not going to...
I'm 2 thumbs down, but I don't know how many.
Oh yeah. I couldn't be rooting harder against a product in the market. Whether or not Mike's and my opposition is enough to doom it, I'm not sure. But
well, you are influencers, so you never know. We can start selling makeup. I think that might be a good path to profitability. I think it won't succeed because of the trust issues, but I think as a form factor, as a piece of technology, it's interesting and will spur others to do similar things. And I do think there is some role for smart glasses in the future. I just think that the privacy stuff is really problematic.
And the social stuff is problematic. David's point of view, talking to your glasses is awkward. I mean,
it's already weird enough to see people talking to their AirPods while they're out for a walk. I mean, that's already totally bizarre. So
it's psychotic, or
in Portland, it's hard to tell sometimes. Actually, yeah.
One of the interesting things that Apple did recently with the watch was they introduced grasping interface, so
gestures,
that you could, gestures, and I think that you would need something like that, that's subtle and private, that to drive this whole process, because otherwise, not only would it's a social problem. I mean, phones are a social problem, but this is even a bigger one, particularly if you're having to talk to it.
Well, I mean, it'll be very interesting to see what Apple comes up with in this context, because they usually do a better job, though not always, than other people, and undoubtedly they're aware of all of these things. Yeah. But they don't quite face the same privacy headwinds that Facebook faces. Right. But do you remember that we're at the end? But do you remember that there was a parody video, which I'll have to find, called Flutter? I think it was a parody of Twitter, but they featured a kind of mock pair of smart glasses. It was a very funny video, very, very funny video. It anticipated these smart glasses and the social awkwardness that comes with them. Anyway, all right. So once again, we come to the close of another Near Memo. We'll be back next week. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining David, Mike, and Greg. To stay on top of the latest developments in local, subscribe to our newsletter at nearmedia.co. We'll see you next week.